In the book, The Magnificent Thing, a little girl's dream is to create something wonderful. The girl and the dog begin their adventure with scavenging for spare parts found around the city. She attempts many different designs, but she is limited with the resources that she can collect. At first, she is frustrated and feels like she can't reach her goal. Looking back at her past experiments, she realizes that each had failed, but there were certain aspects that succeeded. So she begins to combine all the pieces from the broken parts and ended up building the most magnificent thing. Our book was The Most Magnificent Thing, written by Ashley Spires. In this story, the little girl is attempting at creating the most magnificent thing, hence the title. She goes on an adventure learning that you don't have to have all the best parts to build something. Her task is proven to be difficult because all the parts aren't fitting together. However, once when her perspective has changed, she realized that with her imagination she can take all the junk and create something great. Like in the story, we want the students to gain the perspective that you don't need all the perfect pieces to make something new and fun. So to practice this concept, there is an activity that forces children to be creative. With this activity, we're going to talk about music, specifically the simple 4x4 beat measure. In this measure, there can be one of two signs, a quarter note and a quarter rest, both of which take up one beat of the rest for a total of 4. Explain that it all doesn't have to be rest or notes. There can be some interchanging between the symbols. Once when the students understand the concept, divide them into groups. This number in each group will vary based on classroom size. We went with 4 groups of 4. Assign each group a certain sound to make for their quarter note. We have selected to choose snapping, clapping, and stomping. Have their group write a 4-beat measure rhythm. Encourage them to be unique. Don't try to be too systematic about it. Once written, have the group perform their set rhythm for the class. Then to challenge the students, have them switch the rhythm patterns with a different group and see if they can decipher the rhythm. If you're feeling ambitious, try and combine the different rhythms together and see how it sounds. Wouldn't expect anything too great. For struggling learners, you will instruct them that we will use the simple motions, including stomping, clapping, and tapping, to create a unique rhythm. You as the teacher will execute a simple beat. Then you will have the students repeat it back to you. This may require multiple attempts depending on the student's comprehension. And make sure over time you can include stomping, clapping, and tapping in the rhythm. For advanced learners, have them make multiple melodies using all 3 motions that we used. So have them write one for stomping, clapping, and tapping, but also have them make a melody that includes all of them together.
We incorporated art into a math lesson by having students identify and create patterns using shapes. This serves as a basic introduction to Standard 30A9, identifying patterns. We begin by pre-assessing the students by showing them a pattern with a blank left for students to complete. This data will help teachers identify struggling students. Next, the teacher has students identify the shapes and patterns within a pre-existing artwork or sketch. For independent practice, students receive a piece of paper with a shape already on it. They will use shapes to create an image using a pattern of shapes. Note that we aren't making a line of different shapes or in a pattern, but rather an image composed of various patterns. Advanced students may complete multiple images and patterns. Struggling learners may need extra support from the teacher by providing more shapes and patterns on the paper to give the student a higher scaffold to start their work from.
The game we have created is called Mechanize Mingle. This game is a good outlet for students to get their excess energy out, but also develop their creative thinking. In the book, The Most Magnificent Thing, a little girl had a hard time figuring out how all the different pieces fit together. For a pre-assessment, pull up a picture of something common that the kids will automatically know. For example, a car. And with this image, go over some of the mechanical pieces that make up the car. Don't have to be too specific, but utilize the basics: tires, steering wheel, and lights. For this activity, you're going to need a large space for the students to participate in. Print off some pictures of items that can be used for any DIY project or can be bought at a hardware store, such as wheels, planks of wood, PVC pipe, and my personal favorite, duct tape. Have students line up and assign them a piece of paper. For everyone to see it, tape it to their chest. After assigning each student with a part, give the students a minute to analyze what all the pieces are. Then instruct that they can run around in the space given until the music stops. You as the instructor can use any song or music you want, but I prefer the Quirky Worky song from the hit TV show Phineas and Ferb. Signal the students to begin running. Give them about 30 seconds and stop the music. Then call out a number. Let's say 3. The students then have to get into groups of 3. If there's any students who haven't found a group, just go ahead and just fit them in with another group. Each group is responsible for creating something out of the assortment of pieces they've been given. For example, if they've been given wood, duct tape, and nails, they can make a duct tape scarecrow for Halloween. Allot the students about a minute or two to figure out what they could build. Then have each group present their new object to the rest of the class. Afterwards, you begin the music again and have them run around for a little while and repeat the process. This encourages kids to look at the key components and how they can be built. For struggling learners, utilize a simpler game but one that'll still get the student to run around. Lay out 3 big pictures of a car, a train, and a plane. Your job as a teacher is to apply different parts belonging to those 3 machines and scatter them across the floor on the other side of the big space. It'll be the student's job to run to the other side and grab a piece of paper with a part on it and bring it back. Then have the student guess which machine it belongs to. For example, a wing goes to a plane, which the student would lay down next to the plane and run back. Continue this until all the pieces have been picked up. For advanced learners, lay out some simple supplies: dowel rods, duct tape, playground balls, and buckets, and instruct the students to come up with a game that'll include at least 5 of these items. This activity will show kids that they can have fun with the simple things. They just have to use their creativity.